My name is Kahari Blackburn. On Instagram, I go by Kahari Rastafari. I'm a visual artist from the south side of Chicago. I like to think of myself as a third generation artist, mainly because my grandmother was a really big advocate and fan of the arts. My mom would always tell me that she always would keep her public library membership and her art institute membership active, and constantly was always taking them either to the library or to go check out art, and just kind of had this appreciation for it. I think my art form, and as many artists do, kind of are struggling for your voice or your style. And I think I only really found it about 2 or 3 years ago. And it kind of happened by way of not always feeling like a very strong drawer and draftsman. And I kind of got introduced to the Matisse. So it's that famous blue, it's actually right there, that famous blue dude, where basically Matisse would always, he'd always cut out little drafts of the paintings that he would want to make. But then he got sick and no longer was able-bodied enough and just started only making these things out of paper cutouts. So I think I was at an Airbnb and I had seen this painting, and then I was like, ooh, let me mess around with that. And it was helpful because I no longer had to think about if my line work was good or not. It was more about cut out shapes and build things with it. I also feel like I'm a fine artist by way of being a graphic designer. So we had torrented Photoshop, and we'd always make posters or album covers or flyers or logos for the homies and everybody like that. And it was a way that I learned how to have more stronger ideas, I guess, with composition or color or line. And so paper cutout felt similar to working in Photoshop, where it's not permanent. I could make an image and then leave it for a few days and come back to it and move it. When I was looking through the prompts and quotes that you all gave me, the Nikki Giovanni poem really stood out to me because I had never saw that poem or never heard it. And there was a part within it where she says, "We prove the human spirit will prevail. We will take what we have and make what we need. We need confidence in our knowledge of who we are." And so much about that was just really special because I think I'm always really inspired by resourcefulness and people's creativity to do something with what they have. I very much so tried to make something inspired by this idea of magic and making something out of nothing. And a monument that I used to think about as a kid was there's a sculpture on 24th and King Drive, the monument to migration. But as a kid, I didn't understand the historical significance of what the migration was. I just saw this guy with a top hat and this briefcase, and always thought of him as just a magician. And so I think in a very roundabout way, I was trying to come up with a character that was symbolic of just magicianship and magic, and that was kind of inspired by this sculpture. Yeah, this is the Magic Man. Southside Weekly Edition. Let's get it.